Pause on this moment. Look at it. A 19-year-old kid. Goodison Park. Ball drops from the sky. He turns. He jumps. He volleys it into the top corner with a bicycle kick that football sees maybe once in a decade. FIFA gave him the Puskas Award, the prize for the most beautiful goal on the entire planet. The Stretford End, the most passionate stand in English football, took a song written for Cristiano Ronaldo himself and changed the name to his. Viva Garnacho. In that moment, Alejandro Garnacho had everything. Fast forward to May 2026. He has played 131 Premier League minutes in the last 6 months. 1 league goal all season, dropped by 2 clubs, left out of the Argentina national team, and a World Cup that starts in weeks. Without his name on the squad list, he is 21 years old. Welcome back to Elite's Power, and today we are telling you the complete story of how Alejandro Garnacho became the most tragic case of wasted talent in modern football. Let's go back to where it all started, because before the drama, there was genuine, undeniable magic. Manchester United are a mess. Marcus Rashford is playing the worst football of his career. The atmosphere at Old Trafford is toxic. The fans are frustrated. The club feels like it's going backwards. And then, out of nowhere, this skinny Argentine kid starts forcing his way into the first team picture. Ralf Rangnick gives him his first minutes. And immediately, you can see it. Raw pace, no fear, unpredictable. The kind of player who does things that aren't in any coaching manual. Modern football is increasingly built on systems and structure. Garnacho was the opposite of that, and that's exactly why fans loved him. His first goal for United, assisted by his idol, Cristiano Ronaldo himself. And what did Garnacho do after scoring? He turned to Ronaldo and asked him, personally, if he could perform his celebration. That moment showed the humble side. The boyhood fan who couldn't believe he was sharing a pitch with his hero. Ten Hag arrives. He disciplines Garnacho for arriving late to pre-season, leaves him out of friendly matches as punishment. Garnacho apologizes, learns the lesson, gets back in, and then comes the turning point. 10 days after his first goal, Garnacho comes off the bench at 1-1 and scores the winner in the 93rd minute. That is when Ten Hag understood. This kid is not just a talent, he is a match winner. 3 of his 5 goals that first full season came in the final minutes of tight matches. Clutch, ice cold, the crowd's favorite. And the Puskas goal against Everton? That was the moment Old Trafford believed they had the next great number. But that bicycle kick was also the beginning of the end. Here's the thing about being rewarded with the Puskas Award at 19. It can either push you to work harder, or it can make you believe you've already made it. Look at Cristiano Ronaldo. He won his first Ballon d'Or at Old Trafford, the ultimate individual prize in football. And what did he do after? He worked twice as hard. He treated that award as a starting point, not an ending. Garnacho received a fraction of that recognition, just the Puskas, and started living on it. Because a bicycle kick against Everton does not make you untouchable. And that's the lesson he never learned. When Ruben Amorim arrived at Old Trafford from Sporting CP, everything changed. Amorim's system is rigid, disciplined, and demanding. Every single player, no matter their name, no matter their reputation, has to earn their place. There are no passengers. And for Garnacho, that was a direct threat to the comfort he had built for himself. Under Ten Hag, he could miss 3 chances and still become man of the match on the 4th. Amorim's system didn't work that way. Chances were fewer. Everyone had to count. But it wasn't even the missed chances that killed him. Statistics showed that United was consistently being attacked down Garnacho's side. He was becoming a defensive liability, the weak point of the entire system. Still, that alone wouldn't have ended his United career. What ended it was what happened in December 2024. During a match, Amorim is trying to give Garnacho instructions from the touchline, and Garnacho turns his back and walks away, in front of cameras, in front of teammates, in front of 70,000 people. Amorim kicked him out of the squad for the Manchester derby. Bruno Fernandes, one of United's most respected players, sat down with him personally, along with Casemiro and Harry Maguire, senior figures at the club giving him friendly advice. Stop thinking only about yourself. Lower the ego. He didn't listen. And then came the Europa League final. May 2025. Manchester United versus Tottenham Hotspur. The Europa League final. For United, this was the most important match in years. A chance to rescue a catastrophic season. A chance to win silverware. A chance to prove that despite everything, this club still had something. Amorim starts Garnacho on the bench. United lose 1-0. It is one of the most painful nights in the club's recent history. Garnacho played 19 minutes. And at the post-match press conference, still in his kit, still in the mixed zone. He says, "I played every game this season, and today I get 20 minutes. Not condolences for the loss, not solidarity with teammates, not thoughts about the club. 20 minutes. The football world heard exactly who Alejandro Garnacho was in that moment. And Amorim heard it too. A few days later, in a team meeting at Carrington, in front of the entire Manchester United squad, Amorim looked directly at Garnacho and said, "You better pray that you can find a club to sign you. Not in an office, not privately, in front of every single one of his teammates." That is how completely Garnacho had lost the dressing room. Meanwhile, and this part is devastating, accusations spread that confidential team information was being leaked from United's dressing room to Twitter accounts by Garnacho and his brother. His brother Roberto had already been telling fans publicly that Garnacho would inherit Ronaldo's number 7 shirt. That number went to Mason Mount instead. Another blow to the ego, another match thrown onto the fire. The fans stopped calling him Garnacho. They started calling him Subject 49, an erasure from club history almost never seen in modern football. At deadline day of the summer 2025 window, he signed for Chelsea for $40 million. Everyone said, fresh start, new chapter, time to prove the doubters wrong. But this is where the story gets even darker. Chelsea gave Garnacho everything he needed for a fresh start. A new city, a new manager who believed in him. Competition, yes, but opportunity too. Enzo Maresca explained publicly that Garnacho arrived in poor form after being isolated at United. He made excuses for him. He gave him time. He trusted him. Even with Jamie Gittins competing directly for his position, a fast, explosive winger who was turning heads. Maresca more often chose Garnacho. By January 1st, 2026, after 17 Premier League appearances under Maresca, 1 goal, 1. And then Maresca was sacked. Now, you could argue that was bad luck. Wrong time, wrong moment. The new manager might give him a chance. But when Liam Rosenior came in, a coach who demands iron discipline, Garnacho barely existed. 4 top-flight starts since January. Just 131 Premier League minutes from a possible 720. 1 league goal in the entire 2025-26 season. The stats are not just bad, they are historically bad for a $40 million signing. And now, Chelsea, the club that bought him just 1 year ago, are already placing him on the transfer list. Looking to sell him this summer, trying to recover whatever fee they can for a player who has a 7-year contract but can't get a regular starting position. Think about that. 7 years, 1 season, already being sold. Compare this to Marcus Rashford, the man Garnacho was supposed to replace at United. Rashford left United under similar clouds, went to Aston Villa, moved to Barcelona, and under Hansi Flick, 10 goals and 13 assists. Rashford took the pain and used it as fuel. Garnacho took Chelsea's trust and wasted it. And now the consequences are reaching beyond club football. The 2026 FIFA World Cup. It's happening this summer on home soil in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Argentina, the defending champions, going in as the team to beat. Lionel Messi, probably his last World Cup, the greatest player of all time, in his final chapter. And Alejandro Garnacho had a genuine chance to be on that stage, in that squad, playing alongside his idol in football's biggest moment. He has been dropped from Lionel Scaloni's latest Argentina squad. Not rested, not rotated, dropped. Because of his club form, because of his bench situation at Chelsea, because national team coaches pick players who are playing, and Garnacho simply isn't. 131 Premier League minutes in 6 months, 1 league goal all season. A player who isn't trusted by his club manager is not going to be trusted by his national team manager. At 21 years old, at the moment when a World Cup on home soil could have defined his entire career, Alejandro Garnacho is watching from the outside. And the most painful part? He did this to himself. Drop in the comments. Do you think Garnacho can still make that World Cup squad? Is there still time? Now, before we close this chapter, let's be fair, because Alejandro Garnacho is 21 years old. Thierry Henry didn't become Thierry Henry until he was 22 and joined Arsenal. Didier Drogba was a journeyman until he was 26. Even Cristiano Ronaldo, the man whose career Garnacho was supposed to mirror, had rough patches and growing pains. There was a moment just recently, Chelsea beat Aston Villa and Garnacho came off the bench. Played well, got an assist, finished with a high rating. The quality is still there. Nobody is denying that. The talent was never the problem. And here is the brutal truth that separates the great ones from the wasted one. Football careers are not decided by talent. They are decided by character. Ronaldo understood this. He said it to every young player he ever mentored. Ronaldo never said Garnacho's name publicly, not once. But everything Ronaldo ever told young players? It describes exactly what happened to Garnacho. Talent gets you through the door. Character determines whether you stay. The question now is simple. Has Garnacho learned the lesson? Because if he finds a club this summer, a manager who believes in him, a system that fits him, and he walks into that dressing room with humility instead of ego, the bicycle kick wasn't a fluke. The pace is real, the skill is undeniable, but the window for redemption is closing. At 21, you can still rewrite everything. At 25, with a broken reputation, 3 clubs in 3 years, and a World Cup missed, the story writes itself. The complete, updated, unfiltered story of Alejandro Garnacho. From a bicycle kick that made the whole world gasp, to being transfer listed by 2 clubs before his 22nd birthday. From Viva Garnacho at Old Trafford to 131 minutes of Premier League football in 6 months. From a World Cup dream with Argentina to watching from home. This is not a story about a bad player. This is a story about what happens when a great talent forgets that talent alone is never enough. Ronaldo knew it. Messi knows it. The greats always know it. I want your opinion. Drop it in the comments right now. Can Garnacho save his career? Does he deserve another chance? Or is this story already written? If you're new here, subscribe. If you want the real stories, the ones nobody else is telling, like the video if you watched to the end, and share it with that one friend who still thinks Garnacho is going to be a superstar. See you in the next one. Peace.